How's it going, everyone? It's Sam, the trader that started shorting the market minutes ahead of the Trump announcement Friday, made hundreds of millions of dollars, who also shorted earlier this week and made a significant amount of money, is shorting the market again ahead of a Trump announcement this afternoon. Right now, the market is falling down. Bitcoin's falling down a bit. We'll be going through why this is. I also want to look at what people are doing on Friday. Amid the panic in the market, amid the stock market falling down, what were retail investors doing? Were they panicking? Were they buying the dip? We'll also be going through some big news for gold, once again hitting new all-time highs. A big bank in the US now announcing a new unit focused on crypto, and some other news as well. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos like this. Turn on the bell notification so that way you get notified right when I post videos. Check out the Telegram too, it's completely free. Sometimes I post updates on my trades and updates on some of the bonuses over at BYDeFi. Right now we have this double event going on where you can trade and get up to a $13,000 bonus. This goes on for another 8 days. And we also have a deposit event going on at the same time where you can get up to a $3,000 bonus just for depositing on the platform. As you can see, Bitcoin is just at the previous support line that we've seen right around 109,500. We've jumped we've hit it 3 or 4 times within the last few days. You can see here back on the 12th, then again on the 14th, then again yesterday and today. This is just slightly higher than the previous lows that we saw where we went to 107, then 108.5. This is just slightly higher at 109.5. Of course, we wicked below this, but closed above it back on Friday. Now, I think the market's a bit scared because of this event happening. President Trump is to deliver an official announcement from the Oval Office today at 3 p.m. Now, I don't know what this is. Yesterday, he made an announcement with FBI. At the same time, though, everyone's watching this insider, or what's considered an insider. Some people are joking that's Barron Trump. No one knows who it is yet, but this is the trader that was trading minutes before his announcement on Friday. Probably knew something, right? Probably didn't just happen to short hundreds of millions of dollars right ahead of the Trump announcement by accident. He opened another Bitcoin short at 111,386 for $120 million. His win rate is 100%, at least, what we can see, right? He could have other trades going. So right now he is up significantly. This is a 20x short, so a little bit more aggressive. To be clear though, right? Some people wonder, okay, what does this mean? Does this mean that we're definitely going down? Well, right now he's correct. He opened it at, like I said, 111.3. He's made 20% already from this trade. Now, that doesn't necessarily, or maybe even more than that, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to continue falling down. Just because, actually, he's probably up like 30, 40% on this already. This doesn't mean that we'll necessarily continue falling down. Since so many people are watching, and since there's a Trump announcement later today, he could just kind of be betting that if he opens up a short position, enough people will be paying attention to it. And because he was right about the previous ones, the market might fall down just because he's opening a short, and he might close ahead of the announcement. He might not have any idea what the announcement is. Of course, he might know something we don't. We could fall down to, $100,000 or something like that. There's no way of knowing what's going to happen hours from now. But don't just assume that this is going to be something really negative just because he's opened up a short, or she, or whoever it is, right? So just be cautious of that, right? Don't just follow blindly, because eventually if you do that, you could get on the wrong side of it. Now, Bitcoin, like I said, right at support. So honestly, might not be the worst time to open up a long position if you have a tight stop loss, maybe around 108 or something. But gold continues to rally to new all-time highs. You can see nearing 4,300. This is incredible. Right now, the traditional market is up a little bit with the S&P 500 at 0.4. Keep in mind, this is near all-time highs. Let's see if we can find the exact high, 618. So we're down less than 1% from all-time highs. QQQ, on the other hand, down, let's just see here, right around 1% as well. So everything seems to be melting up except for Bitcoin, to be fair. Bitcoin is up like 70, 80% in the last year. Gold up 60%. Gold continuing to rally. I mean, let's look at gold's market cap. It should be around 30 trillion. Yeah, 29.75 trillion. Just incredible how much this has gone up this year. Now, I thought this was interesting. What did people do on Friday? Last Friday was the first 3% drawdown in 5 months. What did the stock market participants do? From Bank of America research over the last 15 years, last week was the 5th largest week for single stock inflows. The largest weekly inflow for stocks when the market was down 1% or more. People saw a 3% drawdown, and what did they do? They bought the dip. This is pretty cool. This means that people aren't just capitulating like maybe in the past. Of course, we could be like, some people will say that this might be a bubble if investors are doing this. This could be one of those situations where if the market collapses, maybe there isn't enough cash on the sidelines and enough people have like overextended themselves that we could see a bigger dip because people eventually capitulate and then no one has money to buy. But I don't think that's a good case either, because honestly, there's still a lot of money on the sidelines. There's $7 trillion, and valuations aren't quite as high as they have been in the past on some of the largest weightings in the S&P 500. Now, there are companies and cryptos that are very frothy still, but I'd say the majority of the large tech companies are at fair valuations. U.S. Bancorp, $400 billion U.S. Bancorp, just announced that they're going to form a new unit focused on Bitcoin and crypto. It seems like there are more banks all the time and financial institutions that are coming into crypto. Obviously, the winds have changed too at the SEC. This is a video just from the last couple of days where the SEC chair, Paul Atkins, says that crypto's time has come, basically that they've kind of changed their policy. And they're definitely more pro-crypto than they used to be. I don't need to play the clip for you, but obviously just regulation in general has become so much more proactive and productive that this is definitely going to be a tailwind for the industry for a while. And we still have people buying the dip. Bitmine bought 104,000 Ethereum worth $417 million today over the last 24 hours. So they continue to buy the dip. The ETFs actually sold a little bit of Bitcoin yesterday. Most of it was just coming out of GBTC, about $83 million. And then Ethereum saw a small inflow day as well. It's funny that we're saying small when it's $170 million, but almost all that going into BlackRock's ETF. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. We'll try to keep it short here today. We do have the Fed rate decision coming in a week and a half, something like that. They are most likely going to cut rates. I think it's actually 2 weeks from yesterday. They're most likely cutting rates. I think it's a 95% chance. That's definitely a tailwind too. Quantitative tightening is going to stop basically by the end of the year from what they said. And we're most likely going to see another rate cut at the next meeting. With this in mind, there's going to be some turbulence in Bitcoin, of course, right? We're going to see a little bit of volatility here and there, but I think this is a really good environment for crypto. I feel like I say this every video. Even though Bitcoin's not spiking up right now, things can change very quickly. Like, let's look at the 1 day here. We were at 107,000, 108,000 back on September 27. And then within 10 days, we're at new all-time highs. We went up $20,000 basically in 10 days. Who's to say that doesn't happen again and we hit new all-time highs? I guarantee you people will be more bullish if that happens, and that can happen any moment. So I wouldn't be flooded out of the market right now, as long as you're in good high quality cryptos and you're not 100x leverage with your entire portfolio. I think you should be in a pretty good spot. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much. Again, you can check out BYDeFi underneath the video if you haven't already signed up for multiple exchanges. I would just don't use just one exchange, because sometimes they go down to volatility due to volatility and everyone jumping on at the same time trying to perform trades. So check out BTCC, WEEX, BLOFIN, BitUniX underneath the video as well. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.